Welcome to the 20th episode of the Global Exclusive Podcast. I'm your host, Hazard. Joining me this week are Baros,
Oof, my aim is from all this nervosity.
Cottonseed,
Damn it, Power started early this time.
Dreamblitz,
It's so hard to concentrate with this chat going.
Muspel,
Barros, no.
Hey, that's my line.
and Shadowwalker.
I pulled and I got Rico.
Nice. We've also got many guests with us because this is going to be a live episode for those who wanted to peek behind the curtain a little bit. So we are going to have a Q&A session after we do the news and the new units. And we're going to have participation from everyone. You guys can listen and see just how terrible it is pre-editing and how much we interrupt each other. Hopefully by the time this is edited, you won't know what I'm talking about, but here we go. Muspel's got our sponsor this week.
This week, the Global Exclusive Podcast is sponsored by Loading Times. Loading times in FFBE are a constant interruption to your gameplay experience. Item World, in particular, is a good place to experience this engaging gameplay. Loading times. Get fucked. Nerds.
Yeah, did you guys ever try to back the fuck out of Item World? It takes 15 screens to just press back, just to enter your friends
Was
list.
that Hazard or Dream dying? I couldn't tell.
I think we're all dying behind a mic.
Both of them, I
But
think.
I thought my computer was cutting out at first. I was like, what? Oh, here we go. I can't hear Muspel again. All right, that was well done. Well done.
Well done indeed. I need you to not fill Rico with your man yogurt, okay? AC Cloud is fucking some other person that does 0 damage. No, yes. Yeah, I would have brought my Rena if you fuckers let me kill 9 5-star units, but you didn't, so I didn't bring my Rena. Yeah, that's one of the most annoying things about FFBE too. That's where you feel the game's age.
I think it's mostly an item where you feel it, because every single screen.
It is not just item world, okay?
No, it's everywhere.
X stickers. Do you suddenly have a bunch of X stickers that you want to pull? Well, have fun pulling them one by one by one by one.
Yeah, see, Cotton, that's
So you
never a
wouldn't have
problem
this-
because I always pull every ticket I get, so I never have more than one.
There we go. Always
Yeah.
pull. Always
For
pull.
EX tickets, you do just use them immediately.
It's the ABP
It's the regular
of
tickets.
gacha, always be pulling.
It's really the regular tickets that take forever. There was that one time where I spent all of my 200 some odd tickets on the Sephiroth banner a few years ago, and it took me almost an hour.
Oh yeah, someone is saying Grand Blue Fantasy also has a lot of loading screens. It does actually. That I stopped playing that game because of it.
So, Barros, when are you going to stop playing FFBE then?
Stop playing FFB. I don't know. I'm probably gonna stop playing War of the Visions faster because that game is really annoying me.
Well, the thing is, there's good and bad. It's a really
Yeah.
fun game. It's very interesting conceptually, but the grinding is absolutely insane. And the raid design, we got our first raid this week, and you have 5 orbs, just like you do in FFBE, but you don't really ever use them. You basically it interrupts your game every 40
Yeah,
energy
exactly.
that you spend. This huge freaking flan shows up on your screen, and you have to try and defeat it with only 2 units that are actually useful for the whole fight. And you have to raise it up to 150, so you have to do 150 times, but you basically can't solo it after level 40 depending on what you got. So you have to wait for other people to join your raid, which never happens. It's the worst design I've ever seen in my life. It's freaking AIDS.
Yeah, and if you try to join someone else's raid, you always get room is full. So I don't know what the fuck is happening if all rooms are always full and nobody's joining my room.
Yeah.
Right?
The good news
That's
is
weird.
there's plenty of room for quality of life changes in War of the Visions, and by
Yeah,
hell
that's
does
one
it
way
need
of putting
it.
But you know what?
Okay.
One thing that bothers me.
Back to Final Fantasy Brave Exvius.
Yeah, okay, fine. But you asked, okay?
Well, Speaking of collaborations of other games, this week we've got a smorgasbord of collaborations of random things that no one cares about and no one plays FFB for, right? Am I the only one who feels that way? No one cares about these games. Come on.
Wow.
No, not at all. Not at all. You're so
Well,
wrong.
there's a bunch no one cares about, and then there's Nier Automata.
Are you saying Hazard? Are you saying that nobody asked for this?
Look, Marspel, you know the question people ask every single week where they say, when's the next Gummy? When's the next collab? Give me another collab. Come on. Well, this is Gummy going, here, take all your collabs and shut
Fine,
up.
have your damn
It
collab.
is true. Like they are like, yeah, but where is Serena, right? And I still think Tyserius, he knows what's up. Like Envy is going to happen for anniversary.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
No,
It
stop
is.
spreading this rumor.
You're also
But
wrong.
seriously,
You're
on
also
Reddit,
wrong.
almost on a weekly basis, people are like, so what collab would you guys want to see? Every freaking week on Reddit, we see this post. You guys are so horny for collabs.
I feel like somebody at Gumi was tired of people asking for collabs, and they thought, like, this is it. We're just going to unleash everything. And also, about your point that nobody cares, I've played every single game on that except Star
Oh,
Ocean,
wow.
so fuck you.
How have you played Just Cause over Star Ocean? That's weird.
Just Cause is so good.
No, it is. But I feel like that's the more niche game among the super nerds that we are.
I feel like it's the niche game among all the JP or JRPG nerds that we have in this room, but it's mainstream wise. I think Just Cause probably is more noticeable than all the other, like maybe Nier.
You mean all
Nier,
one
Just Cause.
JRPG nerds?
Nier Automata is amazing. You are not allowed to say anything bad about it.
Yeah, Tomato, I'm saying the opposite. Like, I'm saying that Star Ocean is the more mainstream game, especially among these people.
I've never had a chance to play Star Ocean. I don't know why.
I tried playing the Xbox 360 one. It was not good. I don't know if that's typical for the series or not.
Just Cause is available on more consoles too.
Actually, thinking about it, I haven't played any of the collab games
Yeah,
that
me
are
neither.
in this set.
And I have no plans to.
Dream, play Nier Automata. You should.
Yeah, that one I want to, but my computer sucks, and I don't have a console.
Play Deus Ex. It runs on like a potato because it's like a 10-year-old game now.
You guys know this about me.
I wouldn't say
that I'm not a gamer.
Well, Adam Jensen isn't from Deus Ex. He's from Deus Ex Human Revolution, which is like.
Well,
the
yeah,
third
but
game.
Human Revolution is what I was referring to.
One of the Deus Ex
It's about 10
games.
years old.
I call it
Hazard's
Deus
feeling
Ex
so
in my
left
head.
out.
It makes it funnier.
Deus Ex.
Careful, you'll get Barris
That's
excited.
actually what I call it in my head too, to be honest. Now that I just realized. I know how it's supposed to be pronounced. But I do call it Deus Ex in my head.
What do you do? You
Oh,
set off the
shoot.
chat.
Down, boy. Down.
Hazard, when will you learn?
No, but see, this is the thing. Like, on the
We've got units
podcast,
to talk about, right?
you're listening to the podcast and you're thinking, wow, Hazard sounds like a
Okay,
wholesome
so the first
person.
unit on this banner is Adam Jensen. And Adam Jensen.
Wait,
is a
no, we have to
physical
talk about the
trainer.
new unit first. We have to talk about the new unit.
The quote-unquote
He's
new
not a
unit.
new unit.
Yeah, there
He's
is
an
no
old
new
unit,
unit in this
alright.
banner.
Yeah.
Well, technically, Rico 7-star is a new unit. 7-star Rico didn't exist before.
This is what they said in the news, that it's a new unit. Or a new design or something.
Right.
The fact of this isn't a
Brand
meme
new
anymore.
unit.
This is
Rico
the
from Just Cause 4.
I feel like
Yeah, Tomato knows what's up. Rico is a Xenogears
This was the
unit.
longest
yeah,
living
I don't know who
meme.
the fuck you're talking about.
You guys just stole that from my calc spreadsheet that no one else can see.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
The fact is, Rico 7-star was the longest living meme in FFB history, but now that meme is
That's
dead.
not true. Gabranth is.
That's true.
No, only
Oh my
you
God.
want to make a Branth
No,
meme.
I just want
I want
Gabrand's
his
STMR. Thank you, Muspel. We agree on something finally.
Yeah, the mega whales agree on wanting an SDMR.
So back to the unit.
And that's the end of our episode.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
who do
we
you
could
want to
have
talk about
Muspel
first, then?
start with
Probably
Rico
Rico.
Rodriguez. Take it away.
Yes, Rico. Well, Rico.
So Rico Rodriguez is a physical chainer. He's got pretty significant burst, but it doesn't work in DV, which means that he's not very useful, because Odin Reagan bursts, I think, about as hard for anything other in DV and also outside of DV, and only requires a little bit more setup. So
And there goes Muspel with his hard on for Odin Reagan.
And DV.
I thought Muspel was gonna pull though, because like Rico is stronger than Odin Reagan. Muspel always pulls for meta units.
But the thing about Rico is that he's not better than Odin Reagan in DV, which is the only thing that matters for experienced players. And the only other aspect of Rico that I really like is he goes 100% evade so easily. Like that's 70% evade with just 2 of his TMRs.
Yeah, I mean he's literally like Kevin is coming out next week because he's literally made to destroy Behemoth.
Yeah, I feel like, and I like his sprite. His sprite's amazing, especially the chair at the end.
Is it amazing?
I just want to say that his kit's a fucking mess.
By the way, Dream, you need to trademark your groan.
Yeah. You can hear when Dream is opposing an idea that someone is saying through his trademark.
Yeah, he groans.
I think for that specific one, I actually misheard, groaned, and then realized that actually I agreed with what you said. Because for a second I thought you said Rico is better than Odin Reagan for DV, and I was like, no.
So to clarify, the problem with Rico is that his Magnus ability, Army of Chaos, it has the same frames as triple cast Bolting Strike, but he dual wields, so he uses that twice. So the second cast of Army of Chaos has frames that line up perfectly with most of the frames from the first cast. So he's hitting twice on like 18 frames in a row. And that means that he'll break your chains unless you chain him with a dupe, and you can't bring a dupe to Dark Visions. So if you're trying to use him as a quote unquote finisher in Dark Visions, it just doesn't work. He'll break your chains every single time. There's no way around it.
And even with a dupe, it's spark only.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you could make him TDH, but I don't think that would be very good.
Making him TDH wouldn't be worth it, just because the highest mods on his Magnus is 40, but his other ability is 49.5. So by that point, you just use his back off ability, which is better if you go TDH. Triple casting it.
Well, the Army of Chaos does have 150% human killer buff on it.
Yeah, that's true. There's that killer buff on it.
Yeah, so let's just agree Rico sucks and moving fuck on with our lives.
He doesn't suck, but he's not good at the thing that Wales would want him for.
I mean, he sucks. Like, good luck finding a Rico friend in a week.
I don't know. There's a lot of people that were pining for this.
There's a lot of people with Rico right
Probably
now.
because it's easy to pick one.
Yeah.
Really?
Look, is BIOS trying to justify for not pulling for Rico? Is this a sour grapes talking there?
It's as Dream mentioned, it's easy to just pick one and omni it if you really want it. The other thing is this banner happened 2 years ago out of nowhere, and all the Just Cause fans probably just pulled on Rico at that point.
So you actually think people are gonna use their omni on Rico when 2 Booty is part of this banner?
Well,
what the fuck?
Have you seen how bad she is? Yes.
2B is free. That's the other thing. She's in the Trust Coin shop, so you can easily get that for free. Why would you omni 2B?
No, but I mean, okay, so use your ticket of choice, right?
And as much as it pains me to say it, 2B has been seriously disappointed by Gummy, okay? As much as it pains me to say this.
Before we move out of Rico...
No,
Rico,
I want you to pull out of Rico, okay?
Oh.
Okay,
I saw that one coming.
just ignore BIOS and go on, Shadow. Just go on.
I need you to not fill Rico with your man yogurt, okay?
Rico has... Obviously, he has high evasion just because of you can hook up 2 of his TMRs, but at the same time, he caps TTW super easily, so it's like one of those units that you can easily apply killers and big HP and defensive materials for. So it's like he's not a bad unit by any means. Like if you suddenly shitter a Rico, getting a second Rico from your free ticket is a viable option if all of your damage dealers are that bad. Just because all the other options aren't that great. There is Rena. We're gonna talk about Rena later.
How dare you call Rena not great? Shame on you, Shadow. Shame on you.
We're gonna talk about Rena later.
Also, I hate the fact that Rico can't imperil outside of his unlocked moves, which either need his limit burst or his turn 3 cooldown. So just the first few turns with no imperil.
You see, that is why you need Rena. Rena will solve that need. That issue is just so well.
Alright, let's move the fuck on. Who wants...
No, wait. One thing that bothers me about Rico is that his cooldown ability actually imbues him too, which actually soft locks him to fire. Because if
one of them does.
One of the ones that boosts his modifiers, yes, that you really want.
Oh, right, the not as unlocked one.
Yeah. So the fact is, like, you have to use that move in turn 1, and then you're locked to fire, which it's just kind of irritating. I get why they did it though.
Hey, you know what's more interesting than Rico? Cup noodles. What's your favorite flavor of cup noodles, Shadow?
Don't get him started.
Don't answer this. It's a trap.
I'm not gonna answer this.
No, it's an honest fucking question. I love cup noodles. Shadow, do you love cup noodles? You're Asian. You have to love cup noodles.
Wow.
Jeez.
Okay, time to leave Barros Island behind.
But okay, it's not an Asian thing. Everyone loves cup noodles, right?
Okay, I believe Barrows have been day drinking in preparation for this episode. Moving on.
What, at 6 a.m.?
Hey, I asked a serious question.
So the next unit is 2B.
The next unit's who?
2B.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the Bad Breaker.
That's not controversial at all.
So this one really excited fans, and then the enhancements came. And it wasn't the enhancements that fans were wanting in any sense of the word.
I mean, let's agree to disagree, because she is still a fantastic breaker for DV, again, as Shadow said, which is literally the only content that matters for veterans. So I like her enhancements.
No, she is a fantastic breaker for DV if, and a big if, you don't have Vanille or Riku.
Which you wouldn't have unless you were stupid or a whale. Or really lucky.
or incredibly unlucky.
AKA not me. I don't have her. I don't have either. So 2B is an upgrade.
Wait, Barros, where is a Vanille again?
Vanille? Yeah, that's a horrible... I mean, I guess I got like 2 rainbows and 6 tickets now, so that's kind of the compensation for like 80 pulls without a single rainbow.
Barros, you mentioned that she's good for DV, but the only thing is that DV no longer counts turns as a point. And having turn 1 80% breaks was fantastic, but now that no turns isn't any part of the points, suddenly Locke and Edgar come into the conversation. Edgar has 84% breaks on his LB, which...
He's been doing work for me in DV.
So suddenly, if...
No, but it's not for turn 1 Q, Shadow, but...
Yeah, but you can't use Locke on an AoE stage, so it doesn't
Just
matter.
say justice for Mars.
No, but it's not...
Edgar's good.
It's not for turn 1 kills. I'm thinking about using her for those bosses where like they start throwing single target magic at you from turn 1, the ones where you can't, the single target not elemental magic. Having 80% break means I take less damage because I do not have Cecil.
For that, I would still prefer Locke because Locke can do magic mitigation.
It's really hard to say that 2B can compete against any of the current top tier breakers because she doesn't have the utility that the other guys like Kryla or Elephim have. She doesn't have the big breaks like Khedgar has. So it's like she's stuck somewhere in the middle. Like, I'm not saying she's bad, it's just she's doesn't hit as high as the other breakers do.
It's hard for a breaker to be bad unless their kit is just not functional. So 2B is viable, but she's not. There's no reason to get excited about her kit.
And I mean, her niche has always been kind of this damage dealing breaker, so that like roll compressing through bringing her as your damage dealer and then slotting in a finisher, for instance, as your final slot or something.
Can we talk about how big of a joke the upgraded LB is? Like they're like, that was the only thing we didn't really get in the news. We're like, oh, her LB's upgraded, and it basically just made her damage a little bit more. I thought
no, that's not true. It gave her never mind. She had that before. I was going to say they gave her physical mit.
She had the mitigation before.
Yeah, it's only to herself. But I thought they were going to raise her breaks to like 79 or 80.
It made it more backloaded, didn't it?
Did it?
I think so.
Yeah, Salient checked that.
Oh yeah, she's very backloaded. I hear Dream has been to the 2Booty Reddit.
Yeah.
Dream is a frequent visitor of the 2Booty
The
subreddit.
limit burst can do decent damage with the gear, but it's still like nothing special and nothing really worth like using a pair of them for damage dealing.
You could run a team comp that had 2 copies of 2B and a finisher instead of the normal setup of 2 chainers and a dedicated breaker, and that might actually result in higher damage output. But
maybe.
I don't know that I'm that excited about doing that. You would need a very, very strong break or finisher who can burst almost every turn. And
so Cloud?
Cloud, I guess. I mean, he can't quite do it every turn. That might just be less damage than a different team setup, to be honest.
Regina?
Yeah, you'd bring like Regina probably.
Yeah, like just you get better chainers instead, and that'll do more.
It'll be less of a headache.
Yeah, if you get better chainers and better breakers, you're probably just better off.
Oh shit, did I say Regina? I meant Regina. God damn it, you all are rubbing off
shut
on
up.
me.
Here comes Barros.
It's too late.
The truth comes out.
No, but it's just like you're saying it so much. I'm just, I fall under group pressure. So.
I wonder why we're saying it. Maybe it's because it's the right pronunciation.
Oh, but it isn't. Like, I've proven you wrong, like, on 2 podcasts.
Have you asked a woman named Regina yet? I'm still waiting.
No, I don't know anyone named Regina.
Don't encourage Barrows to interact with a woman.
That's true.
Okay, but back to 2B. Her damage isn't.
No, I need you to pull out a
like,
2B2, please.
Her LB is like I Salem checked it and I checked it too. It is heavily backloaded. So in theory, like her damage isn't anything to disrespect, but it's nothing to respect either. So she's really stuck in an awkward spot. Like when I saw that LB upgrade, I didn't think her breaks would get bigger. I thought they'd increase her mitigation and maybe even make it team wide, because I thought that was the unique part of 2B, that they could, make her into a unit of her own. She's a breaker and provides mitigation to the whole team instead of the caster. But nope, they screw that over.
Yeah, but she was always the damage dealing breaker though. And still also her LB bursts pretty hard if you need an LB burster.
Would have been nice if they'd given her double cast though.
Yeah, that's
I was
definitely
about to
something
say that, like,
needed.
that's the main thing that she's missing. Like, she just needs a double cast in the kit so she can imbue Imperial on the same turn.
You guys see the chat though that Zala is saying 2B doesn't need T or W cast and she can nearly match Cloud's LB damage. There's the groan. There it is.
It's not quite that high.
No, but it is true. Like, it is true. It is true. She does burst really, really hard with her LB.
I guess it is a bit harder for 2B because she doesn't. I don't think she has a much innate limit break damage as Cloud. So
I
you
don't think she has any.
Cloud's LB modifier is like 50% higher than hers to begin with, and he has a whole lot of LB damage built into his kit.
Yeah, he doesn't have
the modifier's kind of cancelled out by the 6x chain cap, but yeah, the innate limit damage makes a pretty big difference.
Yeah, but you don't have to burst as hard as Cloud.
And 2B doesn't buff her own. Cloud buffs his own limit break damage by 100% as well before he attacks. 2B doesn't have that.
I think the point is that they can be comparable, which in a vacuum maybe, but the thing is 2B doesn't fill her own LB as easily as Cloud does. Cloud can literally LB every other turn without any issue. 2B might face issues if she doesn't have a boss that provides her with LB crysts on the turn that she does her chains.
No, so but she also has an LB filling move. She actually gets hurt if you die because the move is.
She can't W cast it.
She can dual wield it.
She can dual wield it, bruh.
Dual wield it.
It's 2017.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Cloud. There's still one thing. Cloud gets his limit break on turn 1. 2B needs to use the unlock skill to unlock that limit break field move, and then use a limit break field move. So the earliest you can get it up is maybe turn 3 if you're lucky with drops, or you have some sort of external support.
Yeah, but the thing is, okay, here's the thing. You don't have to compare her to, or I mean, obviously you have to compare her to Cloud, but she doesn't have to be as good as Cloud to actually be still useful. Because there's one unique thing about LB finishers that you all are forgetting. If you don't have an LB finisher, 2B might be an excellent free pickup because LB finishers gear differently than your normal chainers and finishers, especially for DV, because like your LB finishers, they're going to be using AK Rain's armor, they're going to be using 11's helmet, they're going to be using fucking Esther TMRs. So in that sense, you can still get a ton of damage out of an LB finisher while still having really well geared other finishers on your team. So if you don't have Cloud, she's still a great pickup. I'm gonna claim that.
The thing that excites me most about 2B enhancements is it's somewhere I can put my incredible amount of gil into.
Where was that going to go?
Yo, Hazard, watch your phrasing.
I was worried about
No, I'm just saying I'm almost capped on gil, and I really need to spend it on something, and so this is a great way for me to spend money for free.
Hey, but where's my A2 enhancements?
Speaking of that, that's also the reason I'm excited about Adam Jensen.
Wait, someone is actually excited about Adam Jensen. Oh, I'm gonna.
Adam Jensen is my favorite enhancement
because he can do double Mirage.
How?
With other stuff. I don't know. He's got nice stuff.
He has double Mirage. He's basically like a Tamari.
The main selling point for Adam Jensen. The main selling point is Dark Visions because he has Mirage, which is useful for Dark Visions, and he has AR chains that actually deal decent damage. I mean, they're not
on turn 1.
The damage isn't incredible, but you pretty much need AR chains if you want to max out your chain score in DV. And most units that have AR have like 4x or 6x modifiers. Adam Jensen has 50x, which is reasonable by damage dealer standards. Not amazing.
It's a lot higher than 4, according to my math.
Yeah.
I don't know, you might have to verify that math.
I mean, Awakened Onion Knight disagrees with
let me
you
check
all.
this out real quick.
One other thing he does have for Dark Visions that's good is he has a lot that can be stolen by Mastermind Zon, because he can 250% attack buff, 150% machine killer, and imbue fire or lightning, as well as 100% imperil them on, I think, a single target, all in one turn. And then that can be quite nice.
Yeah, I'm literally expecting next DV to just be all of his killers.
Yeah, it's not that Adam Jensen himself is a monstrous damage dealer. He's nowhere close to that. But he's in Dark Visions. He can enable you to do some stuff it would otherwise be a lot weaker.
And to add to all of this would have been fine just by in and of itself. He can also dual stack Mirage, which is really good for DV if you want to stall the time to turns to set up your team. So you don't have to take a Kamari and use up a whole slot for that.
He also caps attack super, super easy. So, I mean, he's going to be easy to gear. He can provide different views, the killers, and the AR chains and Mirage. I mean, he's real nice for DV, and it's a great way to spend like 8 million gil.
He's got potential niches.
Yeah, Jesus, these enhancements are so expensive.
If you're a Deus Ex Human Revolution fan, like, he doesn't do bad damage either. Like, if you take dupe Adam Jensen's, you're going to clear all the content.
It's about as good as the free units we got.
You're going to clear all content in the game with free units.
Okay. Flat as Justice mentioned a great point, though, is that he's got 160% true dual wield, which is super annoying.
You get to see the red on your, if you click on the details. That's satisfying, I guess.
No, I want to see the blue.
It really doesn't matter, right? Because it's like, technically it's going to be the same. You still need 150% source. So
I know, but then you have to look at. Oh, well, you can't. I was going to use like 2 of his TMR, but those are not stackable because I was going to get to exactly 200%, but it won't let you do it.
I wonder if there's a way to use the 30% from Yun's STMR to get exactly 200%.
I thought that was fist attack, not dual wield.
I'm pretty sure it was some weird
STMR?
number of true dual wield.
Yeah, the
and
STMR
then,
I think is
a
30.
lot of 40%.
Oh, yeah.
The closest I could get, Aloha Last was 25, so you'll go to 205 if you equip that, and it is TMR.
Oh, my eyes hurt. My eyes hurt just by listening to it.
This is what the Global Exclusive Podcast is about, getting an even 200% TDW.
This sounds like some NP complete computer science problem.
this has literally never bothered me. Like, you all are nerds.
I'm OCD.
Get Adam Jensen to exactly 200.
The only thing that I want to point out is that Adam Jensen had finishing moves, and now he's a chainer. So people that used to think that he was a finisher, he's actually a chainer now. All of his moves got chaining moves.
Yeah, you know what's more interesting than Adam Jensen? Cup noodles.
And the next
Shadow, what's your favorite cup noodle flavor?
No, I'm not answering this.
Actually, you know what's more interesting than Adam Jensen? Let's move on to Rena, who is Gummy's gift to healers.
What's a gummy?
We should talk about
beautiful.
Elly first, because if we leave with Rena,
Elly.
nobody is going to care about Elly.
Yeah, let's talk about Elly, because Elly, wow, she was my first video game crush. Okay, I was playing Xenogears.
So Elly is a magic finisher.
Oh my god.
Oh, please leave that interruption in, Lemon. Please leave it in.
Elly is a magic finisher, as Buspel was saying before Boris interrupted him, and she's unique in that she takes imbues and physical killers into assumptions when doing damage.
For a limit burst at least, and cooldown.
Yeah.
She is basically Cersei version 2.
Which I love Cersei. She's amazing. She's one of my favorite characters. I can't wait for her enhancements. So Elly's nice.
Yeah, also saying she's Cersei turn 2 is like saying, I don't know, AC Cloud is fucking some other person that does 0 damage.
Why don't
Ellie's
you
mod is like 160 and Cersei's is 32.
So why don't you do this? Why don't you shut up for a minute, figure out what you wanted to say that was really witty, and then come back later and say it.
No, that was what I wanted to say. I'm not actually, I'm not really trying to say anything else. I'm just saying it's a stupid comparison.
Thing to keep in mind with Elly is that her gearing isn't as bad as you might think for an LB mage. She has 150% innate dual wield, and she has 250% LB damage. So it's still mage gearing, so she's still going to struggle with killers, especially since she can't use most of the major physical killer weapons. So she's not as good as physical chainers, but relative to mages, she's fine.
Wait, why are you saying she can't use physical killers? What do you mean?
The
Killer
She
weapon.
can't use
weapons, I
physical
think.
killer weapons.
Oh,
like
weapons.
katanas
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah,
spears.
Yeah, sorry.
Wait, well, I could give her equipped spear, right? I mean, that
You
would
could.
work,
It's
right?
probably not worth it.
Her damage isn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just that she's made for one specific thing, and she does that one specific thing so well. That's why people really like her right now.
I mean, she is God's gift to everyone.
Well. She does
Welcome
it
to
pretty
week
well.
20 of Busbill saying that mages are
Yeah.
bad.
And also in this forum, it's actually useless to say mages are bad because we're specifically talking about her being good for DV. And in DV, if it's a mage stage, you're gonna use fucking mages, so it doesn't matter they all suck because that's the only thing you're gonna be using.
Well, I'm mostly saying.
Also, let me emphasize this: Muspel is just horribly biased because he has the redacted unit.
I mean that's my point. She's worse than a unit that came out months ago.
Worse than a broken unit.
Yeah, a limited unit that literally nobody pulled for because it looks like ass.
So, are you saying that Elly is not also a limited unit that almost nobody will pull for?
No, everyone literally.
Yeah,
pulled
but we
for
get
Elly.
one. We can get Elly for free. You see, we can't get the other one.
But Elly is the wrong choice.
And also, Elly technically bursts harder than Shu Wen, doesn't she?
So let's move on. Let's move on to the next unit, who is the right choice.
Wait, but before we move on, there has to be a disclaimer because Elly right now is our own, well, quote unquote, only, as in viable, forgetting the other mage, LB magic damage finisher. The other one is coming out within a month, and they will power creep her almost 100% because they can't give them Glex buffs. They're gonna give them Glex buffs. So if you pull on Elly thinking that I'm gonna use her forever, realize that in the future everyone else will use Ace and Rem.
I really hope you're right about the buffs.
Yeah, but you don't have to
Or
have
you could just
only
use
Ace and
Elly
Rem.
and Ace
Yeah, exactly.
and Rem all together.
Yeah, you just use all your strongest finishers into a nice AR chain.
No, I mean
because,
you
like,
could,
why
but
wouldn't
it's
you?
just that you can't expect to use this one and to answer to everything because I've seen discussions saying that she's going to be the answer to all your mage stages. She's not. There's going to be better ones in the future. So that's why there is a better option for your free ticket.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what you have. But I know where this is going. So let's talk about the cake-loving Rena.
All right, Cotton, you've been drooling over her for a week.
Rena is a healer. I've been
Hey, isn't this supposed to be my bit?
I've been describing her as Elena combined with Lunafreya.
The Muspel train never stops.
The Muspel train is going full steam ahead today.
Yeah, what happened with Muspel is like live episode got him really turned on. Like,
He's desperately trying to save this.
She's got 35% magic mitigation on demand and 50%.
Just going choo ahead.
He's not even wearing pants.
35% magic.
I still want to know who likes cup noodles.
And 50% on a cooldown. And then she also has an AoE light imbue and 120% imperil, which is, it's like Lunafreya's water imbue imperil, same cooldown, same duration. And on top of that, she has a pretty standard healer kit. I mean, standard in that she has most of the same things. Hers is abilities with no white magic. And she has 200% defense and SPR buffs for the whole party. And I think she can also do, like, all the standard break immunity, ailment immunity, stop charm immunity, AoE re-raise, all that stuff.
Yeah, so she's basically like a slightly stronger Rivera.
Totally unrelated, really cool. But Muspel says attack and mage defense, but he says SPR instead of spirit. Why?
I don't know. I really don't know.
But he says mage because it rhymes with vag. That's
exactly why he says it.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah, of course.
Every time you say mage, I'm like, can you please just finish that word?
And also, like he says it, and you can hear that he's snickering mentally. He's like, mage.
I think that's just you.
Add it to the list, stream.
Well, yes.
Look, but back to the topic, Rena is like the love child of Lunafreya and the healer. And for someone who does not have a single freaking Lunafreya, Rena is beautiful.
Yeah, Rena is really, really good. And she's probably like the top healer, like next to like Lena, Dr. Iden, and Folka. So it's like they all belong in the same tier. And I think Rena has another niche that all those don't have, which is her buffs and her magic mid. Her buffs are also like undispelled, like can't be dispelled. So it's like that's really like important in the high dispel fights, especially the trial this week.
Actually, have you mentioned the the HP and MP heal over time on the limit burst. Like with her ridiculous spirit, like you can get what, maybe 15,000 HP heal over time each turn and a stupid amount of MP each turn.
I think it's probably going to be more like 10 or 11k even if you go really hard on Spirit. It's just heal scaling isn't that good. No matter how high you get your Spirit, it doesn't really do all that much.
Yeah, but like, do you want your healer to be tankier than your magic tank? Who wouldn't?
Yeah, so she's absolutely fantastic. I mean, jokes aside, she is an upgraded Rivera, but she does it so well. Like, you're gonna have the undispellable buffs for the bosses that are dicks and dispel. You're gonna have a really strong healer kit with everything you need. That's also a bit, like, they really overloaded her. They gave her everything. Like, often healers might have like one weakness. Oh, you have break resistance, but you don't have ailment resistance, or vice versa. No. She has like everything. The only thing she's missing is like general mitigation. Because otherwise,
Oh no, she has that 30%.
Yeah, she has that, but it's only 30%.
Yeah, I meant like relevant general mitigation.
These days, 30% mitigation
She
doesn't
lacks
do much.
single target re-raise.
Yeah, she's missing single target re-raise as ability dispel, I think, and any element resistance.
But she's got a lot of good stuff.
She does miss element resistance, actually. That is true. She is missing that, like, compared to other healers. Or some other healers.
Should probably also like mention her damage, because her spirit-based chain has a pretty high modifier, but it's like, because of the frames, it's mostly like dupe only, and it's not.
I think in practice it's completely dupe only unless you single cast it.
I mean, you could chain her with Citra.
Yeah, but then
So,
you're
like I
using
said, it's
Citra.
dupe only.
Why not? Like, why not?
Using Citra to
Why the
enable
hell
Rena
not?
damage, like, that's like in the garbage bin of DV strats, really. You're actually sucking the bottom of the bin.
Plus, unlike our other spirit chain, hers are still magic attacks, so doesn't get some of the niches. Plus, it's element locked anyway, so it's not like it's imbuable and versatile like Redacted's chains.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Same with Sayaka, actually. I've been using her a bit for DV too. But she also does like pure magic damage with her chains.
She has uptime issues if you really want to do all of them, though. As in, if you're gonna do everything in her kit, and the boss somehow AOE dispels or kills you and your team re-raised, she's gonna have a harder time getting back than just because she's one unit dual casting everything.
That's true. That's common for most units that have roll compression.
I mean, that's kind of like Cecil having uptime issues.
Yeah. See. Okay. So now I need to explain to all the listeners listening to the podcast afterwards. Hazard and Sinzar are having a argument in the general chat because Hazard is a diehard Aiden fanboy. He could never survive the fact that Aiden can't heal. So he like takes every.
Aiden can heal.
He takes you two shut up.
Aiden can heal.
He takes every opportunity to try to prove us wrong by saying stupid shit like, "Oh, but Aiden can use his LB and get like 2,000 healing per turn or something." And now some fuck in the chat is saying he has Kuraja. Yeah, but you know what? Fuck you.
All right, I'm just saying
It uses a full
because
action to cure.
Sinzar was saying, oh, the Rena LB is really useful because of the regen. So her regen is 3,000 HP with a 25 times modifier, and it lasts for 3 turns. Aiden has this. Aiden's LB lasts for 4 turns. It has a 3,500. No, sorry, 4,000.
We're doing live calcs.
4,500
Don't even know his kit.
with a 25 times, because I can't talk and look at the page at the same time because it won't let me talk.
Yeah, you know what's more interesting than this? Cup noodles.
It's a higher modifier. No, it's just
It's a lower modifier.
Should I just unmute Sinza so Sinza can just hash it out on you in the podcast?
Hazard, healing over turns is divided by the turns. So Rena has 3,000 25x divided by 3, so that's 1,000 plus like 8.3 per turn.
crap.
Dr. I has 4,500 and 25x divided by 4.
You're right. It is less.
Yeah, so Aiden can't heal. We know this. You don't have to say it every episode, Muspel.
The thing about Aiden and Rena is that Aiden still does the whole 100% provoke dodge thing better than Rena does because of his innate 20% dodge on his kit. And the thing about Aiden is that he can heal. People keep forgetting.
They're only doing that.
He heals
Yeah, maybe
very
people
well.
keep forgetting it because he can't do it.
Shadow.
No, people
Shadow,
forget
you
it
are
because they
being
don't have the
trolled
unit,
on
and
live
they.
That's weird. That's
podcast.
like that's like saying like, hey, people keep
Ugh.
forgetting that that enhanced Esper can't do damage. You know why they say that? Is because she can't do fucking damage.
I feel that I need to turn the chat against Barrows here. So
No.
earlier
Listen,
this
you
week,
know what we need to
we
ask the
learned
chat?
something about Barrows. Did you know that he sells his 5-star units when he's out of space?
Yeah, of course I do.
He only has like 680 unit slots, and he sells
No,
them for trust points.
635.
That's worse.
How do you only? That's worse. How do you only have
Yeah, it's
635?
easy.
They
You
give
just
out
sell all your
expansion.
5-stars.
Every single time that I learn about how Barrows plays this game, it is the worst thing that has ever happened to me.
You know what's the funnier thing is that even with all that, he still beat you in DV.
Yeah,
Because he's a whale.
I'm really not. I'm just really good at this game. I'm sorry.
It really is
Also,
amazing,
hey,
though.
you know what?
I still can't believe
Since
it.
we're engaging the chat, hey chat, what's your favorite cup
It's
noodle
probably
flavor?
because Maspel is missing the one key David unit. Hey Maspel, where's the Zon?
Hopefully coming when I get the 5-star EX ticket from this box summon thing.
Seafood? Really? Like, I see some seafoods and like spicy shrimp. What the fuck? You don't want to put seafood in your
I think it's
noodles?
too late for me to make my point about Rena.
What was it? I was going to make a point about Rena too, so you go.
I was going to say the real
I mean,
problem
no, you
with
can
her.
put seafood. I mean, phonic.
Will you be
prawns
quiet?
Go well with
Be-
instant
no,
noodles,
shh,
right?
Cotton,
Throw
Shut
them
up.
in.
Cotton, shut up.
The real problem with her limit burst regen is that the game doesn't show how strong your regens are, so I'm always too paranoid to rely on them at the end of the turn.
Yeah, that's actually that's a true point. Also, why are all these fuckers calling out like fucking seafood in their noodles? I mean, seafood is like 90% sea insects. Who the fuck wants to eat that?
I do, Barrows. I do.
I feel like this was mentioned but lost in all the chaos that Burrows and Cotton are sewing up right now. But Rena doesn't have AoE re-raise, right?
She has AoE.
No, she does.
No single target.
No, she has AoE re-raise.
So it becomes not an issue, but it's a bit of a minor annoyance. She doesn't have Dispel or Dispelga in her kit at all. So, like, I know that everyone says, "Oh, just equip X Esper." The thing is, she doesn't have like dual white magic or dual cast at all. So for that turn she'll just be dispelling. So good luck trying that.
Yeah, but that's why you use Elephim to give her dual white magic. Checkmate, atheists.
And then you can double
That
cast Dispel.
actually works.
Because she wouldn't have any other white magics.
Double cast Dispel twice?
Yes, because you can dispel 2 units. I don't fucking know. Also, Flat just said that the sea is salty because fishes pee in it. That's not true. It's actually salty because whales.
Oh, okay. Moving on to the next segment.
We're gonna move
Out
on
of
now
a
to the
whale.
segment.
Before we go on, there's one important thing about Rena's kit, and she seals magic. And
Oh,
that's been
yes.
proven to be really
For, like,
useful
one
from
trial.
units like Kryla.
That is
It's
true.
been really useful like once per year.
In DV. Well, in DV it was pretty useful. There was like
Oh yeah, DV1 had all those sealable
That's true.
dispels.
No, but let's explain. Before, Rena could always seal magic. It's just that after her enhancements, she now can dual cast. She now can W cast that seal magic ability with the rest of her other kit, which makes it a lot more useful.
well, I think Kryla can dual cast her sealing
Yeah.
too, so it's not like
I don't have Kryla.
Yeah, imagine if you had Kryla being such a mega whale to have like every fucking unit Shadow.
They basically gave Carla away a year ago. They gave her away, and Cotton didn't get her.
if you
Because-
didn't get Kryla because they gave it even after giving it away, that's a you problem, not a game problem.
I was saving Lapis for Final Fantasy VI. Okay, I have my priorities.
We understand that you're an idiot.
Yeah, I didn't go. Cotton, don't feel bad. Among these mega whales, I know it's like easy to feel shamed about not spending lapis, but I also didn't spend 10k lapis on Kryla.
You probably just pulled her on
Tuna
her
was
original
talking
banner.
about the UOC. I can tell him that I used that on Chow. No regrets.
Wow, that was the dumbest thing I've heard today.
Really? Really? Of all the things you said and the chat said,
Yeah, get a tape recorder, Barros, and just follow yourself around for a day.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I am so full of wisdom. I'm sure if I did that for a day, I'd have like enough to write a book. Okay, of like
You're certainly full
incredibly
of something.
wise tidbits of life knowledge that's gonna
I
improve
I,
everyone's
I
life.
also picked Chow with that ticket.
Wait, you what? You
Well, my
Meta
other
Muspo?
choices were like Aang, who I only would have had one copy of, and that's not very useful. And then a bunch of other units that were bad with only one copy, or that I could get prisms for from the Trust Coin shop. So I figured Chow would be most useful, because at this point his 7-star wasn't out. I was hoping it would be good.
Oh, you were banking on that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a tank. GLX
Unfortunate.
tanks are usually great, but not Chow.
Take that back, Marcel.
Well, speaking of
Yeah.
tanks,
Speaking of tanks,
magic tanks, we couldn't use a magic tank
yeah,
this time
an
around because we
actual
needed a physical
tank
tank.
trial. It's a miracle.
I know,
Yeah.
these things exist.
And physical tanks are so very useful that I cleared the trial without a tank at all.
Scorn of the March of the Insects.
Because you don't
That's
actually
because
need
you
physical tanks.
wheelbarrows.
No.
So you use a provoke evade tank.
No, so, yeah, well, yes. But I also use Rivera.
Ah, there you go.
So, like,
So
you don't
you
need physical tanks in
Turn
this
someone
game.
into a tank.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not a tank unit. I turned a useful unit into a tank, not a worthless unit like a physical tank.
So you brought a unit.
Yeah, but that
that's-
means you
yeah.
have to bring a useless unit to turn a
Yeah.
useful unit into a tank.
Yeah, but that's calling Rivera useless, but that's weird, because, like, she can buff LB damage, she can Imperil Imbue Light, just like Rena, she can heal,
Has everyone here
unlike
cleared the
Aiden.
trial?
Yeah, I cleared it
Yes.
within
Yeah.
an hour and a half.
Let's all go through and just say what team comps we used, just to kick off the discussion. I used Hallowed Age as Charlotte, Luna Freya,
Oh my god.
Riku, Lena, and 2 copies of Schwen.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? That's like the sound of a fucking meta chaser. Okay? Like all the best
Okay.
units.
All right, you want to hear what I used? Okay, I used Warrior Flight as my tank. I used Sylvie, and I used Dr. Aiden, and I used Adam Jensen, and I used 2 Gilgamesh War of the Vision style.
That's interesting.
He definitely suits this trial.
Wait, does Gilgamesh have an AoE chain?
Yes, it's his magic chain,
The magic one?
Oh, the magic one.
and he can do magic or physical in the same battle.
I think it's largely his resistance to dispels that helps for Fight 3. I remember that from one of Sinzar's videos on this.
Yeah, I got very lucky and didn't get dispelled at all, but
Yeah, but you were also pretty covered with your thick ass roster.
I used Awakened Warrior of Light, just like Armand did. I also used Dr. Aiden. I used Luna Freya for the magic mitts, 2 times Edward, and I brought a breaker. I don't know. I think it was Elephant. Yeah.
I will say, physical tanks take a absolute beating on this without evasion.
So I cleared this trial like 5 times, and the one time that it didn't go evade, I actually had to bring 2 tanks, one for provoke, one for physical.
my Charlotte never lost more than 6,000 HP a turn.
That's because she's literally the best physical tank in the game.
Well, yeah, but if you're not using the best, why are you even bothering?
Because some of us spend money on important
That is
things.
the sound of a whale, people. That is whale noises right there.
Yeah, or at least like meta chasing whale noises. That's the worst kind of whale. I'm gonna say. I want to judge Muspel's way of enjoying the game. That's what I want to do today.
How dare you pull things that are
Yeah, how dare you, Muspel? You should be pulling for other units like Big Hard or yeah, I don't know.
I used Edward and Alphonse Elric, and then Kamari, Luna Freya, and Lena, who didn't really do anything.
Yeah, I had also a similar unit that did nothing. Let's see if I remember what I did have. I had 2 Odins, 1 Cloud, Rivera, Elephim, and Serena. Yeah, that's it.
Let me guess, Serena
no.
did absolutely nothing.
No, actually, not Serena.
Did you
not
actually clear this
Serena.
trial, Boris?
Sounds pretty whaley.
I used Sweet Luca. I was gonna use Serena, but then I realized Sweet Luca also has magic mitigation, and I haven't used her on a trial yet. So I actually just brought her to do 30% magic mit.
Does Rivera have dual stack Mirage?
No, it's single.
No, single.
Oh, so he just tanked it, I guess?
Yeah. It's like a fucking non-baby.
You don't need dual stack Mirage. I got by with single stack.
I mean, I got by without any Mirage, but it's just without a healer.
I was like, hang on, someone used Adam Jensen.
That was Hazard.
It was easy. Like Rivera was my healer. Listen. I just want to hype up Rivera a bit more. So Rivera was my healer. She was my Mirage bot. She was my LB damage increaser. And like she also did something else. Oh yeah, she also imbued Imperil Light for the entire team.
Yeah, Rivera actually has some decent heals. The main thing, it's just that she's missing a lot of the standard healer stuff, like immunities and re-raise and all that. But on this fight, you don't really need those things. So as long as Rivera is able to keep up with the damage.
Who is she increasing the limit damage of?
Cloud, probably. He had a Cloud.
Yeah, but
no,
yeah,
but
Cloud already
Cloud
boosted
already
it.
buffs his
Overrides
limit.
it.
Yeah.
No, but not on every turn, idiots.
Yes,
Yes,
it
he
is.
does.
It's
It's on his
literally
LB. It's
every turn.
literally on his LB.
Oh yeah, that is actually true. Oh man, that sucks. So she didn't do as much as I thought she would.
Congrats.
Rivera confirmed trash.
Damn
Let's
it.
move on.
Barrels for you people.
Yeah, they should really make the LB buff stack, or they should make Zon be able to copy and paste.
Nothing
LB
in
buffs.
this game stacks. Have you seen stack
Embarrassing.
of stack?
Have you considered selling Rivera since she's not as useful as you thought? I mean, think how many trust
No,
points
no,
you could get.
Rivera is incredibly useful. Like after I discovered her by mistake on like the first trial we needed Mirage for, it's like I'm realizing this unit is fantastic for roll compression. Just saying.
Yeah, but Barrows, just think, if you sold her, you would get 500 trust points. That's a 10th of a prism, and you would save a unit slot. That's 20 lapis.
But why would I sell Rivera when there are
that
so
more
many
valuable
other
to you?
units that are entirely useless? Like you all are blowing this
Alright,
shit
you know
out of
who isn't
proportion.
useless?
I was suggesting selling like one of my 3 SDMR Malphases because like why the fuck
There's
would
basically
I need
only
3?
like 2 5-star base units that you can safely sell at this point. And it's one of them's from the King's Knight raid, whatever that place, what is that thing? Rayjack, that's the guy. Rayjack, and who's that chick from Brave Frontier? Elsa.
Maxwell?
Elza and Vargas.
I'm an Explorer Eileen too.
Explorer Eileen you can sell.
I think Elsa and Vargas, there's still a tiny chance we might get them. Maxwell is the one you can
I
sell.
think Brave Frontier got directly like deconfirmed for any future things.
And you're also safe. Like it's like this the weird thinking. We might
the
get this
Ariana
unit in
Grande,
the
Charming
future.
Kitty Ariana.
Okay, what's the unit you sold, Bars?
I didn't sell anything this time around.
Who have you sold
I mean,
ever?
Also, we're blowing this. Like, I think I've sold like 3 5-stars in my
Okay,
entire
what were they?
FFBE careers. I
I
don't know
thought
why
you
this
listed
became a
like
thing.
9 of them.
Yeah, I thought you had more
Yeah,
than
that was my proposal for going for Rena, but I was convinced not to do it.
Okay, so who were the 3 that you sold?
One Veritas of Dark, which I actually regret a bit now, obviously, since I know he has an MV, but I still have enough to envy him anyway, so that's good. What did I more? Oh yeah, one Veritas of Dark, one Explorer Eileen, and then I don't know what else. I don't remember. It was some shit unit that I never would have used. Probably like an Orlando or
Chat's
something.
got your back.
Because I have.
Chat. Look at chat.
What?
It's literally your list.
Oh yeah. That's exactly that's the list I did, and like that list was actually fairly safe, because my OG nickel I already had another one.
Malphasey?
So that list is
Malphasey's
just,
on that list.
Yeah, but I have 2 more, so it's like I have 1 SDMR and then 2 more, except of that one that I'm gonna sell or was gonna sell. It's like okay. You know what, fuckers? Tell me one unit here that's a high risk of selling that isn't OG nickel. Okay, like
Malphasey.
tell me one unit that you want to save.
Malphasey,
Gladio.
Nicole,
Yeah, but
Sylvie.
did you not
Literally
hear?
all
I
of them.
have 3, like
Doesn't
I have
matter.
1 more 7-star Malphasey and 2. Yeah, you're all idiots. I'm just gonna say it out. Like,
yes.
I'm sorry.
I mean, to be fair, I did sell some Rams and Freya to the trash shop, but that was after like my second Freya SDMR and my third Ram SDMR. So
I mean, the idea, but the thing is, the idea that people sold 5-stars after their second or third STMRs, it was okay. Well, not okay. It was frowned upon, but we didn't really care about it. But now that we know NV exists, it's like, why?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
no.
but that was
I might
before
not.
NV.
Listen and listen. Like, oh no. I might not have the meta unit for 3 weeks the way the power creep is going, okay? So it's like, oh, my Veritas of the Dark, oh yeah, I'm not gonna be able to EX3 him on that week when he's strong. and then on the week after that, I'm gonna have the next NV unit. So
I feel like it's up to you in your own discretion on how you play this game and how you resource management. But for like a general like playthrough or for like a PSA, don't do
Well,
this.
listen, you can play the game however you want, and I can make fun of you for doing it.
yeah, that's absolutely
Because
true.
Just
That's
like we
absolutely
make
true.
fun of Maspel for
I could
using
have
Shenwu.
10 Ravenheart, and I would still love to have more.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna sell my Malphases that can become an STMR. I'm not an idiot. I'm just a bit
So
daft
which
sometimes.
Malphase couldn't
I would-
become another STMR?
The one that already has 100% TMR and 100% STMR. That's the one I would sell. The one that's literally worthless and just sitting in my fucking unit slot, taking up a valuable unit slot of my 635 slots.
My question is, how do you not have enough expansion vouchers? They give them out so often.
I don't know. I've used like all of mine for equipment.
Huh.
Yeah, like
Hmm,
literally
Why-
like
makes
almost
sense.
everyone.
Why are you selling your units and not your useless equipment?
Well, I'm selling my equipment too. I just don't have any useless equipment going through my equipment list anymore.
Anyway, to finish off, I cleared the insect trial with Edward Elric, the other Full Metal Alchemist, Elephant for Breaks, Kimari from Mirage Spam, and Rena from Lightning Build, Magic Mitigation, and everything else.
Yeah, I would have brought my Rena if you fuckers let me kill 9 5-star units, but you didn't, so I didn't bring my Rena.
Yes, it's our fault. Okay.
So when did people actually get dispelled? Because it has like a 25% chance every turn, which is just kind of a pain in the ass. And I got dispelled at the end of turn 1, directly after using my cooldown buffs, and then on like turn 5 when I was finishing it out.
I might have, but I had Sylvie buffs, so didn't notice.
I never got dispelled.
RNG Dispel is a stupid mechanic and it can die in a fire.
Yeah, I got dispelled. I think I only got dispelled. Yeah, I got dispelled once, which actually cost me a full turn because I had to re-imbue my my Reagans. So that sucked actually.
However, Muspel, it would dispel your fire. Checkmate.
The fight in general is a great concept because the first fight is like just a check. Do you have an AoE chain? Or AoE damage move?
It's not even that. Fight 1 is here, have your limit gauges and
Exactly.
gauge filled for free.
Yeah.
Because you sneeze at them and they die.
Yeah. And then fight 2 is actually the harder one in my opinion. Because if you don't kill them at the same time, it just becomes slightly harder to kill the other. And the Black Mantis is so hard to kill sometimes. I
didn't kill them on the same turn at all.
Yeah, I messed that up as well.
Ever to kill them both on the same turn.
As long as you have Mirage, they're really not that dangerous. Like, you do have to gear for some defense and HP, but it's not like...
I didn't have Mirage, so it hurt.
Okay.
Yeah. With Kimari Mirage, I don't think I actually got hit by Enraged Black Mantis, even though I messed it up.
Well, the thing is...
I only had single stack Mirage, so sometimes units did get hit twice, and they would take, like, 12k damage, I think, total from that. Which, I mean, that hurts. And if they'd gotten hit 3 times, they might have died, but...
I didn't even bother trying to kill them at the same time because I knew I was going to fail. And it would heal itself to full. Whichever one survived would heal itself to full, so who cared?
Yeah, I just did them one by one. So much easier.
I had to whittle down... I ended up whittling down the black one as little as possible and then used Edward's AoE chain to kill them both at the same time. So that took a while. And then the third fight wasn't as interesting as the second one, in my opinion. The third fight was just straight up easy. I guess you have to proc an Esper after...
Yeah, there's the Esper to prevent the snore.
The main issue with the third fight is that the DPS check is actually not trivial. And if you get dispelled repeatedly, I could see it being a major problem.
Yeah, you still do have to like burst it from what 30 or above 30, right? You need to get it down to 0.
Well, technically the check, if you do it perfectly, is only like about 10% per turn because you need to basically not be below 30% on any turn that's a multiple of 3.
Okay, yeah, okay. But still, I mean,
on my first attempt, I went in there just grabbing a random friend without killers. I actually did get that turn where he dispels and then attacks, and I survived. Now, I had Schwen, so I think that with regular damage dealers, they might have died. I'm not really sure. I wasn't really paying attention to how much of that was magic damage.
So we're episode 20 now. How many of these 20 episodes has Muspel buffed Schwen in? Like, does anyone keep count?
Probably
All
like
of them
19.
probably.
Yeah, I think like every episode, Muspel is like, yeah, but you know, because I had this Schwen unit, it was so easy.
Well, it's mostly because when I want to do a trial, it's so much faster if I can just grab a random friend instead of needing to look for
This
something
is true.
specific. Just to test out strats.
Actually, I think it's been all 20 because our first episode was
Chinese New Year.
yes, that banner.
Yeah. I'm sure like if I go back and re-listen to it, Muspel is like, oh man, you all should have pulled on this unit that I just used to clear this trial. It was so easy.
So if you guys are having trouble clearing this trial, go to Sinzar's YouTube page. Listen to the video, watch the video, and then comment.
Like, subscribe, and comment.
Make sure you comment how his units were unfair or limited or his gear was too good. Like, he loves those comments, so please make that comment on every single video he's got.
Yeah, Sinzar, that's bullshit. Like, you're such a whale.
And point out his pronunciation.
And remember to DM
Everyone loves
with...
to point out Sinzar's pronunciation.
Yes.
It's probably the golden standard of FFBE. Lapis.
No, it's pronunciation.
I mean, that's not
And
as
remember
bad
to
as
DM
saying
Sinzar
Regina
and ask
instead
for
of...
team building
Listen,
recommendations. He loves to help people.
also saying Lapis...
But
Just
listen,
keep spamming all those
saying
DMs.
Good.
Lapis is not at all as bad as saying Regina.
All publicity is good
okay?
publicity, Sinzar.
He's never going to come back on the podcast.
Yeah, he's
now.
done. He's done that. Like, he's in this live chat, by the way. Like, he's listening on.
He's our favorite guest, actually.
He's our favorite guest. The only one that's been on twice.
Yeah, he is actually.
So just know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will say though
I want to have Mars
that
back on a future episode.
Shadow Walker isn't allowed to make fun of anyone's pronunciation.
Why?
Have you listened to the way he pronounces literally anything?
Well, I
If you
mean...
listen to
Rogan,
any of the previous
Regina.
19 episodes.
Oh yeah, Ragen. That is
Aiden.
you, Shadow. That's true.
Oh no, let's not say her name again, okay? We don't want to set Barros off again, do we?
Yeah, the unnerved Barros experience, that's also something, because, like, Lemon just keeps, playing the choke over my shit, so...
And with that, cue the music. We'll see you guys next week.